When Moses' arms dropped, people started dying. As long as one old man kept his arms raised on a hilltop, his army was winning. The moment his arms dropped, they started losing. This is one of the strangest battle scenes in the Bible. The Israelites are fighting the Amalekites down in the valley. Moses is watching from a hill above, with his hands lifted up in prayer. And here's the strange part. As long as Moses' hands stayed up, Israel was winning. The moment his arms got tired and dropped, Amalek started winning. So what did Aaron and Hur do? They didn't tell Moses to push through the pain. They sat him on a rock, and each held up one of his arms until sunset, until the battle was won. This wasn't a metaphor to the people who lived it. It was literal. Your hands come down, people start dying. That's how seriously God wanted them to understand what prayer actually does. Call to action. Who in your life needs their arms held up right now? Someone too exhausted to keep praying, keep believing, keep showing up. Reach out to one person today and simply say, "I've got you. I'm praying with you until this is over." Related Bible verses. Exodus 17:11 through 12. As long as Moses held up his hand, Israel prevailed. Aaron and Hur held up his hands, so his hands were steady until the going down of the sun. Ecclesiastes 49 through 10. Two are better than one. If one falls down, his friend can help him up. One night of prayer wiped out 185,000 soldiers. He had zero chance against the invading army, so he took the enemy's threatening letter, walked into the temple, and spread it out in front of God. King Hezekiah is facing an impossible situation. The Assyrian Empire, the most powerful military on earth at the time, has sent a letter mocking God and demanding surrender. Hezekiah has no army capable of resisting them. So he does something remarkable. He takes the actual letter, walks into the temple, and lays it out before God, and prays through the entire night. The next morning, the text simply says the Assyrian camp was full of dead bodies. 185,000 soldiers gone in a single night. Hezekiah didn't have a strategy. He didn't have leverage. He had one thing a night. He refused to spend anywhere except on his knees. CTA. What letter are you holding right now? An impossible situation, a diagnosis, a threat, a fear? Tonight, before you do anything else, write it down and pray over it. Specifically by name, out loud if you can. Don't manage it. Bring it to God directly. Related Bible verses. 2 Kings 19:14 through 15. Hezekiah went up to the house of the Lord and spread it before the Lord. 2 Kings 19:35. The angel of the Lord went out and struck down 185,000 in the camp of the Assyrians. They were all dead bodies. George Müller never asked a single person for money. He was responsible for feeding hundreds of orphans. He refused to ask a single human being for help. Not once, not ever. George Müller ran orphanages in 19th century England, caring for thousands of children over his lifetime. But he made one radical decision. He would never ask any person for money or supplies. Not friends, not donors, not the government, only God. There were mornings the children sat at the breakfast table with empty plates and no food in the building. And Müller prayed anyway. Time after time, help arrived just in time, sometimes minutes before the children needed to eat. His journals show he wasn't always confident. There were days of real doubt, real fear, but he kept praying instead of asking people. And by the end of his life, he had recorded answered prayer more than 50,000 times. Not because he had a formula, because he had two things: absolute confidence, that God is real, and a childlike simplicity that simply believed his promises. Call to action. Think of one need in your life you've been solving purely through your own effort. or by asking everyone except God. Today, take that one thing and bring it to God first, before you problem solve, before you ask around. Just once, let prayer be your first move, not your last resort. Related Bible verses. Matthew 7:7. Ask, and it will be given to you. Seek, and you will find. Knock, and it will be opened to you. James 16. Let him ask in faith, with no doubting. They prayed for his release, then didn't believe it happened. A group of believers spent all night praying for one man's release. When he showed up at their door, they told the girl who saw him, "You're out of your mind." Peter is in prison, chained between two soldiers, guarded by 16 men, one night before his scheduled execution. Meanwhile, a group of believers is gathered in a house, praying for him earnestly, all night long. Then an angel appears, wakes Peter, and walks him straight out past the guards. Peter goes to the very house where people are praying for him and knocks on the door. A servant girl named Rhoda hears his voice, and she's so overjoyed. She runs back inside without even opening the door, shouting that Peter is outside. And the praying believers? They tell her, "You're out of your mind. It must be his angel." They were praying for exactly this. And when it happened, they couldn't believe it. That's not a flaw in their faith. It's proof that God answers prayer, even when our own faith is weak, as long as we keep showing up to pray. Call to action. Are you praying for something you've quietly stopped, believing could actually happen? Keep praying anyway. You don't need to feel certain for God to move. Write down one thing you're praying for, but struggle to believe and pray for it again today. Doubts and all. Related Bible verses. Acts 12:14 through 15. When she recognized Peter's voice, in her joy, she did not open. They said, "You are out of your mind." Mark 9:24. "I believe, help my unbelief." He prayed the rain away twice. The sun was so hot he couldn't finish preaching, so he prayed, and clouds covered it until he was done. The next day, it rained mid-sermon. He prayed again, and the rain stopped. This comes straight from the journal of a traveling preacher in the 1700s who rode on horseback for hours between towns to preach outdoors, whatever the weather. One afternoon, the sun was beating down so intensely on the crowd that he couldn't continue preaching. He simply turned to God in prayer, and within minutes, the clouds moved in and stayed until the sermon was finished. The very next day, rain started falling. Right as he began preaching on a hillside, he prayed again, asking that if it was God's will, the rain would hold off until he finished. It stopped immediately and started again the moment he said, "Amen." He wrote in his journal, "Others may call it coincidence. I choose to believe it was an answer to prayer." Call to action. Start keeping a simple prayer journal this week. Just one line a day. What you prayed for and what happened. Don't wait for something dramatic. Small, specific answers add up into real evidence of a God who's paying attention. Related Bible verses. James 5:16 through 17. Elijah prayed fervently that it might not rain, and for 3 years and 6 months it did not rain. Psalm 34:15. The eyes of the Lord are toward the righteous, and his ears toward their cry. He never yelled at his sons. He just prayed for hours. 3 sons, 0 lectures, 0 punishments, 0 raised voices. Here's what he did instead, and why it worked. A father of 3 boys, never known for being strict, never nagged them, never disciplined them harshly, never pushed them toward faith. Every time they came home with a decision he disagreed with, he simply embraced them and told them not to worry. So how did all 3 of his sons end up walking in faith, with their lives genuinely turning around? He never told anyone until later, every single day. He took his sons before God in prayer, not casually, but with real intensity, real time, real persistence. While his voice at home was always gentle, his prayer life was fierce. The lesson isn't never correct your kids. It's this: the real battle for someone's heart is rarely won through pressure. It's won on your knees, out of sight. Call to action. Think of someone you've been trying to change through words, arguments, or pressure: a child, a spouse, a friend. Try shifting that energy into prayer instead, even just for 1 week. Say less to them. Say more to God about them. Related Bible verses. Proverbs 2:26. Train up a child in the way he should go. Even when he is old, he will not depart from it. 1 Thessalonians 5:17. Pray without ceasing. He set an hourly prayer alarm and thought he was losing his mind. He set an alarm to pray every single hour. His own wife told him he'd gone too far. Then he heard 4 words that changed everything. A businessman living overseas started praying 3 times a day, following Daniel's example. But over time, 3 times a day stopped feeling like enough. So he did something that seemed extreme. He set an alarm on his phone to go off every hour, and every time it rang, he stopped what he was doing to pray. People around him thought it was strange. Even his own wife told him he was being excessive, that something about him had changed in a way that worried her. Then, at a retreat, he heard someone say, "Keep your eyes on the Lord 24 hours a day." And he broke down in tears. Not because it was new information, but because for the first time, someone confirmed he wasn't losing his mind. He was simply taking seriously what most of us treat casually. Call to action. You don't need an hourly alarm to start. Pick one fixed time today you'll return to God's presence. Not just a quick request, but a real pause. Set one reminder on your phone this week and actually stop when it goes off. Related Bible verses. Daniel 6:10. He got down on his knees 3 times a day and prayed. 1 Thessalonians 5:17. Pray without ceasing. If you like the content, please subscribe and click the like button. Thank you. A blind man didn't know he'd see again. He just knew Jesus was passing by. He'd been blind since birth. He had no reason to believe his eyes would ever open. He just knew one thing: Jesus was walking past him right now. Bartimaeus never saw a single day in his life. When he hears Jesus is passing by, he doesn't calculate his odds of healing. He just starts shouting, because the one thing he's certain of isn't, "I will see." It's, "He is here." That's the same faith a woman shows in another story. She'd suffered a bleeding disorder for 12 years, spent everything she had on doctors, and had given up hope of a cure. She doesn't ask Jesus for anything out loud. She just reaches out and touches his robe as he walks by. Neither of them started with confidence that their circumstances would change. They started with something smaller and stronger certainty, that Jesus was near. And that was enough. Call to action. You don't need certainty that your situation will change to pray boldly. You only need to be sure of one thing: Jesus is with you right now. Today, instead of praying, "God, fix this," try praying, "God, I know you're here," and let your faith start there. Related Bible verses. Mark 10:52. Your faith has made you well. Luke 8:48. Daughter, your faith has made you well. Go in peace. If you like the content, please subscribe and click the like button. Thank you. If prayer feels impossibly hard, something big is coming. Most people think, "I can't pray right now," means give up. What if it actually means the opposite? Moses' arms grew tired holding them up in prayer. The Bible doesn't hide that detail. Prayer is described as genuinely exhausting, physically and spiritually. That's not an accident. If prayer were easy, there'd be no need for anyone to describe it as warfare. But it is warfare, which means resistance should be expected, not treated as a sign to quit. Here's the shift the next time prayer feels unusually hard. You're unusually tired, distracted, tempted to skip it. Try reframing it. Instead of thinking, I can't do this, try thinking something significant must be at stake here, or it wouldn't be this hard to pray. That single shift in perspective is often the difference between people who give up right before the breakthrough and people who push through into it. Next time you sit down to pray and feel resistance, sleepiness, distraction, a sudden urge to do anything else, name it out loud. This resistance means something important is happening here. Then stay 5 more minutes than you want to. Related Bible verses. Exodus 17:12. Moses' hands grew weary. His hands were steady until the going down of the sun. Ephesians 6:12. We do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against spiritual forces of evil. If you like the content, please subscribe and click the like button. Thank you. She changed for exactly 1 day. She read a life-changing book and transformed overnight. Kinder, gentler, completely different. It lasted exactly 1 day. A woman read a powerful book about surrendering her life to Christ, and the change was immediate and obvious, especially to her husband, who noticed how differently she treated him that day. But the next day, she was back to who she'd always been. Not because the book was wrong, not because the insight wasn't real, but because insight alone, without ongoing prayer, doesn't sustain change. This happens to all of us. We hear a sermon, read a book, have a breakthrough moment of clarity, and it fades within 24 hours. Because understanding something and actually living transformed by it are two completely different things. The bridge between the two is prayer, not a one-time decision, a daily return, call to action. Think of an insight or conviction that impacted you recently, but faded fast. Instead of trying to remember it harder, bring it back to God in prayer today. Ask Him to make it real in you again, not just understood by you. Related Bible verses. James 122 through 25. Be doers of the word and not hearers only, the one who looks into the perfect law and perseveres, being no hearer who forgets. Philippians 16. He who began a good work in you will bring it to completion. If you like the content, please subscribe and click the like button. Thank you.